All right. All right. So, did a little research before we started this one. I figured out what years I was in what grades.
Yeah.
And did you start recording?
Yes.
Okay. And I also went ahead and gave pseudonyms to all of the fortunate or unfortunate, I'm not sure, people who are included in my diary, to protect the innocent. And wrote them down so I can be consistent in what I call them. Smart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so FYI, 4th grade was 85 through 86.
Yes.
And so we did that. I went to London. I came back, had all that stuff happen. Nothing happened in the beginning of 5th grade. Nothing.
Great.
Nothing. And for one, I can tell you that in 4th grade, when I came back from London, I shortly thereafter got a baby sister.
Yes.
My sister Teresa, and didn't apparently think that was worth writing about.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Anyway, so February of 1987. So, February of my 5th grade year. Dear Diary, how are you? She never answers.
She never answers.
She never
This is
answers.
so unkind.
Today's George Washington's birthday. It's a Monday, but we got a day off anyway.
Because, that's how it works.
Yeah. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Big shock. I'm going on a field trip with Mr. Collins. It should be nice and boring. Oh, I didn't tell you what happened to Teresa. I'll tell you tomorrow. I don't have enough room left. Love, Michelle. P.S. See ya. I'm maturing now. I don't say
Yeah.
P.S. bye, I say see ya. And there wasn't enough room
You didn't
to
say
write what happened.
He also didn't say what happened.
I didn't say what happened.
Didn't say
And
what happened.
don't hold your breath because the rest of February is empty. So I have no intention of ever telling you what happened to Teresa.
Can we say what happened? Should we?
Are you asking?
Are they following
want to know?
along with the diary's knowledge, or should we expand on it further?
If you asked me, I would tell you.
What happened to Teresa? I know. What happened to Teresa?
You know what? Okay, what happened?
She swallowed your mom's pills.
She was little. She was like less than 2.
Yeah.
Climbed up on the kitchen counter, went into like the medicine cabinet, opened.
Wait, she did that? I thought they were just like in a Ziploc bag
No,
on
no,
a
no,
table.
no, no,
That's
no,
what
no,
happened to me.
no. Yeah, that's a
straight
different
up
story.
what happened
My
to me.
neglect.
It wasn't your neglect. It was me being a stupid baby. Also, how did I open a Ziploc bag of a baby?
You were like 3. It's not that hard.
Well,
So anyway, she opened, she went up into the cabinet, into the medicine cabinet, and opened a child safety lock,
wait.
medicine thing. Excuse me, I'm going to take these things off my wrist. And she ate, we don't know how many of these pills. And I don't remember what they were, but they were prescription. So, we had to come rushing home. My dad was driving me to somebody's sleepover. And I was super excited. And my mom called on my dad's car phone.
Yeah.
Car phone.
Car phones.
And said that she had taken some medication and we had to get her to the hospital immediately. And I think when she called poison control, they said, don't let her fall asleep because she could slip into a coma. So I was like, again,
so
this
scary.
doesn't make it in
That's
the diary.
so scary.
I know.
That's
She looked like a
terrifying.
baby, right? And it was like her nap
Don't
time.
let her fall asleep. She could slip into a coma.
I know. It's terrifying.
That's so scary.
So I go along with them. My brother is at somebody's house, like playing, being a kid. I go along with them to the hospital. And so my recollection of this situation is that she, so they obviously want to like pump her stomach, right? But the first thing they do is usually put in an IV. So I remember them trying to put in an IV and she's not staying still. Obviously she's a little kid. This is terrifying. They had to like strap her down to a papoose board, which
a papoose board?
if you're not familiar, is a board with like fabric around it, and it's like Velcro that to hold the kid completely still. And they pulled out one
that
arm,
thing?
yeah, and her head, and they pulled out one arm and tried to put an IV in it, but her vein kept collapsing, so they couldn't.
Her veins kept collapsing.
Well, it's normal. I mean,
Oh,
it's really hard to
I
find.
know.
Not like
Never
she was
mind.
dying. It's like
I thought about it and I was like, oh, I remember.
or
what
they
that
couldn't.
means.
There was a bad nurse. I don't know.
That sounds a lot
Phlebotomist.
scarier than it is.
Yeah. So then they pulled out her other arm and continued to do it. And this whole time she is screaming bloody murder. And for some reason, I'm still in the room with my parents.
Yeah.
And then once they get it in her, I guess they give her. Oh, I remember. And before that, they tried to just get her to throw up. So they gave her like Ipecac or something gross like that. That they
Ipecac?
give you. Yeah. It's a syrup to make you throw
That
up.
sounds like gack.
Well, once she threw up once, she wouldn't drink anything else because she was smart. And so then they decided they had to put it in the IV, and then they had to put the charcoal into her stomach. Do you know how they get charcoal into your stomach when you're a kid and you won't drink it?
You cut you open and put it in you.
Nope. They shove tubes up your nose and down into your stomach, and then they pump it in. So I guess my parents at some point realized that I should probably not be present for this because I probably was kind of, getting scarred psychologically.
I mean...
So they sent me out to the hallway, and I was in there, and you could hear my sister still screaming as they're shoving tubes up her nose.
That's horrifying.
And this little girl, this little, Wraith creature who was, attached to an IV to a machine to a pole, she had to walk along with it, and she's in a hospital gown, she's walking along, and she couldn't have been more than 10. I mean, she's maybe my age, probably younger and little. And I just remember in my mind, which might be slightly dramatized and traumatized, that she had circles under her eyes, and she stopped near me, and she was listening to my sister screaming, and I was listening to it, obviously scared, and she looked at me and she said, "Who's in there?" And I said, "My sister." And she said, "That's her screaming?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "She's gonna die."
Jesus Christ! That's real?
Yes.
What?
And I was like,
wait, a girl your age walking
I
along
think
by
she was
herself
younger.
with an IV.
yeah, she was obviously a patient in the children's hospital.
I've never heard this story before.
So devastating. And she was just very matter of fact, and I was kind of like,
That's terrifying.
okay. And then she walked away, and I sat out there, and then it finally got quiet, obviously, because she, I guess, passed out, or they finished the procedure, or maybe they gave her something to sedate her. But so I thought her being quiet meant she was dead. Regardless, this was this huge,
That's so scary.
tumultuous experience for me. I mean, I'm sure it was upsetting for everybody else, but it was particularly upsetting for me. And I never wrote about it, but I did mention that something had happened and that I would maybe talk about it later, and then didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly amazed by what I didn't put in my diary.
Yeah.
That's kind of
That's half the...
strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a big event. Anywho.
Yeah, I've never heard about that Wraith girl telling you your
Oh my
sister
God.
was gonna die.
She's gonna die. That's how she said it to me, and I was like,